Listen, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Hope that everyone is having an amazing day. Hope that everyone is being productive and executing on their business plans. Listen, I am super excited. I'm super excited about today's discussion. I'm excited, and I'm also kind of a little like a little sad to be wrapping this up and moving away from this topic, simply because this is so important, guys. This whole disciplines of execution. We could talk about this for a year and a day and still have more to talk about, as far as how to be more effective in the execution of your business goals. We could literally, this could just be the topic of our discussion for the entire year, and there still be more to talk about. There still will be more to perfect as it relates to this topic. But as we've scheduled it, today is our discussion of our third and fourth disciplines. So we're going to stick to the script and have this conversation today. So welcome back to For Closing Sake. This is obviously our weekly webinar. So quick, I said, it's our bite-sized business coaching during your lunch break. So I hope that you guys are enjoying lunch, taking a quick break, grab a water bottle, taking a break from showing properties, making phone calls, prospecting, strategizing, negotiating, writing offers, taking a quick break to just decompress, get your gears going about business development, and then we get right back at it. So again, my mission is to just provide a weekly coaching call for realtors to discuss the latest trends and need to know information to grow your business. Happy Thursday, Marshall. Listen, drop some smiley faces. We're almost there. We're almost at the finish line. Well, we're almost at showing Saturday is what I say. In real estate, we're just getting ramped up today. This is the pregame, right? As we prepare for hopefully a busy weekend, right? Of showings and open houses and contracts. So let's do that. So for those who I have not had an opportunity to meet, listen, I am so happy to meet you virtually. I look forward to meeting you in person in some form or fashion in the South Florida streets. My name is Racole Jackson. I am an attorney. I'm also a business development strategist. I work specifically with realtors to help them to implement systems in their business to increase their income and give them their time back. That's a passion of mine. Most of you guys know that I was first licensed as a real estate professional in California. I got my bachelor's degree from the University of Florida. I got my law degree from Santa Clara University in California. And I obtained an LLM in real property development from the University of Miami School of Law. I am licensed in Florida now. I was first licensed in California. I am also the founder and CEO of Title Xperts. Title Xperts is a full service title insurance and settlement firm. We service all of Florida. Our main corporate office is located here in beautiful West Palm Beach, Florida. But we absolutely service all of Florida. We have satellite offices throughout Florida, as well as we employ mobile notaries and RON service. So a quick commercial break. If you had not had an opportunity to work with us before, we welcome you to experience a Title Xperts closing. Again, we are an attorney managed firm. We have a dedicated closing team, regular status updates, helpful closing guides, and rush processing is available. This is some of my team. If you, again, this weekend, as you're gearing up, you're going to contract, you want to work with us, you send contracts to contracts@titlexperts.com. If you have any general questions, you can send those to closings@titlexperts.com. And we love our little vanity number, 866-5-experts. There's more than 5 experts, but it was cute at one time when there was only 5 of us. But listen, that's what this is all about. This is about expansion, scaling, and growth, right? How do you grow your business from being a one-man band to a team? That's what this is all about. It's not about just you alone. It's about how do you implement systems in your business that is not all on you, right? You're not the, what do they call it? The chief cook and bottle washer, right? There's other people to call for some of these things. So we started off in January with the 4 disciplines of execution, how to accomplish your business goals in 2022. Listen, this conversation is near and dear to my heart. You guys know that I am the CEO of a number of real estate related companies. And I was not born a CEO. I was not born a business owner. I had to learn how to operate a business, how to develop and operate a business. But it's similar to you guys. My passion was always in real estate. And so I had to learn how to tie my passion for real estate and providing these real estate related services. I had to learn how to tie that to the fundamentals of running a profitable and sustainable business. And you guys have to know that you too are running a business. And so the conversation is, how do you build a business systems in your business, and obviously develop a business plan that you can execute on, that so that you can be proud of, right? You can be happy to get up in the morning and say, you know, I am the CEO of Mary Jane PA, right? That's the thing. I want you guys to be happy about what you do. So we started off and we utilized the 4 disciplines of execution. This is a text by Chris and Sean. And as I mentioned to you guys before, this book, I've had this book for a while, and it's a great book. It goes very, 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 very in depth into multi-million-dollar companies, multi-million-dollar operations and franchises. And so, but at the end of the day, the fundamentals are still the same. You just apply them differently based on, awesome. You just apply them differently based on the scale and where you are in your business. Renee says she just got her book last night. Listen, it's a textbook all by itself to me. It's a course. It could be a college course all by itself. And so I love to read. You guys see 1,000 books behind me, but I found this book so insightful that I said, listen, we're going to take these principles and we're going to have this conversation with our realtor colleagues on how they can apply it to their business. Because at the end of the day, my battle cry for my realtor partners is that you are not just an agent, you are an agent CEO. You're not just a real estate agent. You are the CEO of your very own real estate business. Let's act accordingly, right? Let's act accordingly. So to recap, got to drill this in. I feel like this is my last opportunity to drill in this desire, this passion, this focus, this number one priority of execution. Before we talk about what we're going to execute, because obviously that's our next discussions. You guys have already voted and everybody said we need to walk through a business plan. So we're going to walk through a business plan. But before we get to the ideas and the pieces of the business plan, I need you guys to commit, to believe that you're going to be able to execute. To execute is to carry out or put a plan, a course of action in effect. We know that. We know that that's the definition. And why do we focus on execution? We focus on execution because we know that ideas do not make you rich. The correct execution of ideas does. So as we transition to business planning, right? Business structure, hiring, training, etc. You're going to get a lot of ideas. You're going to get a lot of ideas, but it's going to be for naught if you don't execute. Execute. Implementation precedes income. Implementation precedes income. We got to implement these things in order to get to the income. Ideas are yesterday. Execution is today. And excellence will see you tomorrow. Plan your execution. Execute your plan. Now, these are all quotes that I gathered from looking at execution, because I believe I mentioned to you guys that at the beginning of this year, that was my one word. My one word is execution. My one word is execution. Because again, I know that ideas, they come a dime a dozen, but execution is what's going to make you rich. And so I never share, I share with some colleagues a while back. This is part of my daily affirmation. This is specifically related to execution. And my affirmation says, I am blessed with a creative mind and an executing spirit. I know that ideas alone are worthless. Execution creates value. There you go. I was just about to say, Dave just put one up. That could be your affirmation. I was just about to give you guys an assignment to create your own affirmation around execution. And Dave just popped it on the screen. I love it. I love it. This is my affirmation. This speaks to me. I am blessed with a creative mind and an executing spirit. I know that ideas alone are worthless. Execution creates value. That speaks to me. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. That speaks to Dave. He threw that out there like, that speaks to him. I need you guys to, as we move from this, write down your affirmation. Write down across the A. Write down your, if it speaks to you, you can borrow it, friends. I haven't trademarked or copywritten it yet. So you can borrow it, friends. Write down your affirmation. Write down an affirmation that speaks to you, because it's mind over matter, guys. It is mind over matter. Most of your hurdle is going to be telling your mind what to, your mind telling your body what to do. Your mind telling your body what to do. This is me telling my body to execute, execute, execute. I am blessed with the creative mind. Most of you are. That's what entrepreneurs are, kind of naturally creative. So that's what told you, you know what, I can do this. If you didn't know, you're an entrepreneur. As a realtor, operating your own real estate business, hello, you are an entrepreneur. Silence this and do not disturb. That's what you've done. And so naturally, you're going to get ideas. It's, oh, I should do this. We used to call it squirrel. You guys probably heard it before. Squirrel, like, oh, I should do this. Oh, I should do it. A squirrel. Remember, we talked about in the prior section, lead measures, so that you already know there are going to be things that come up that could work, but we've already decided that this is the plan. I am blessed with a creative mind and an executing spirit. I know that ideas alone are worthless. Execution creates value. Proper planning prevents piss poor. Oh, not piss. You didn't say that. Sorry. That's the way my dad says it, Dave. Proper planning prevents poor performance. My dad put another P in there. Sorry. But that's what speaks to him. So I need you guys to get your affirmation together. Put it in your phone. Put it on your mirror. Put it wherever you see it. Then those things that are going to jar you to say, I got to do this. All right. So discipline number 3 of the 4 disciplines of execution is to keep a compelling scoreboard. Keep a compelling scoreboard. The 3rd discipline, to keep a compelling scoreboard at all times so that you can tell whether or not you are winning. There's a statement that says he takes the foolish things to confound the wise. That's such a simple thing to keep a scoreboard so you can see whether or not you're actually winning, whether or not you're actually executing, because this is all about execution, right? You will play differently when you keep score. I promise you, you will play differently when you keep score. So as we talked about with visual, you should be able to see at a glance whether or not you're winning. You should be able to see really quickly whether or not you're winning. Someone said at some point, money is a scorekeeper. Money is a way of tracking your wins. I liked it. I thought it was cute. Money is a scorekeeper. If you look in your account and you have $100, you're losing. If you look in your account and you have $100 million, I would say you're winning. So we have to have a visual measure. And the scoreboard is designed to build engagement, right? So I am blessed with a creative mind and executing spirit. I know that ideas alone are worthless. Execution creates value. That's in my head. I don't really see that. That's in my head. I do have it written. I do. And I suggest again that you guys write it because it's a reminder to you, especially if it's something that you don't have committed to memory. But because I have that now committed to memory, I don't really see that. I don't really see that. That's not as tangible. But a scoreboard is tangible. I can see it. Now we're engaging, not just hearing, but also visualizing where you are in your execution. What are some visual opportunities for keeping score? A whiteboard. In our real estate office, we literally used to keep, and we still have it in the other office. It's a board, and we use black tape, and we made like essentially like a spreadsheet out of a whiteboard. And all the property listings were on that whiteboard. Every time we walked in there, I mean, I'm sure you guys probably have this. Well, we're now in COVID, so you may not be going to your offices. But when we walk in that office, we can see how many listings are up there. That's a visual execution. That's a visual scoreboard. It could be your calendar. Remember, we talked about if you know you're supposed to dial every 30 minutes every day, and you check off that you did your dials that day, there's a check mark on your calendar. If you look at your calendar and your calendar has 3 check marks out of 30 days, we have a problem. Spreadsheet. Maybe you can use a spreadsheet. Remember, I said that we had our whiteboard kind of set up as a spreadsheet, but we also had it on a document as well. That's a visual way for you to keep score. Remember, don't forget your lead measures. Lead measures primarily are what? It's prospecting, not just necessarily marketing. And we're going to talk about marketing in March, as a matter of fact. Prospecting, remember, is different from marketing. Marketing is a very broad message, just messaging. Similar to, I use, for an example, a shotgun versus a rifle, a sniper rifle, right? A shotgun just blasts. You put social media. Social media is marketing. You put it out there, someone may or may not see it. It goes into places you don't know. They talk about the algorithm. You don't know who's going to see it. You can ask them to show it to particular people, but it's passive. Marketing is passive. Prospecting is active. Prospecting is getting on the phone, getting in front of people. You're being very direct. You're being very intentional about who your voice is being heard by, who you're being seen by, right? That's what we're going to talk about in March, marketing. That's one of the biggest lead measures of your business, guys. That's where your leads come in. That's where your leads come in. We'll figure out how to service them, but get them in the door first, guys. Get them in the door. We'll figure out how to service them, but get them in the door. And then last thing is reporting. If you have a system that allows you to report, use, for example, if you have a tracking system, keeping score. You may have a system. This is how many dials I have. This is how many, appointments I've been on. You have to keep score. This is going to let you know, again, whether or not you're winning. Remember, going back to lead measures, we already know lead measures are what they go ahead of you and push in the business. Marketing, prospecting, appointments, showings. You already know that. Remember, we talked about you want to do 3 deals per month. How many people do you need to talk to before you get to those 3 deals per month? It could be 100, and be honest with you. But if we take 100 and we divide that by 25, that being 5 days a week, let's say 100 divided by 25. No. 5 times 4. 5 people per day. Can you talk to 5 people per day? I'm sure you can. You can talk to way more than 5 people per day. So I took 100. I divided that by 4 for 4 weeks. Then I divided that by 5. That took me to 5 people per day that I needed to talk to. Exactly. Yes. And guys, this is how we simplify things, because simplification is what's going to drive you into execution. How did you feel when I said 100 people per month? When you heard that, you were like, oh God, Jesus Christ, 100 people. But when I said that's just 5 people per day, like, oh, I could talk to 5 people. You see the mind games, how we reverse engineer it to make it easy to execute. That's what business planning is, guys. We go all the way out to the result that we want. It's a huge result. They call it, you've probably heard the term BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. Big, hairy, audacious goal. We go out there, we say, you know what? I want to do 500,000 GCI this year. That's a big number sitting right here. But if we go out there and we reverse engineer it, how many deals is that per month, assuming my average commission rate is this? Okay, and that means how many contacts I need to make, assuming my conversion rate is this. And if we reverse engineer all the way back to just 5 contacts per month, does that push you into execution? I think 5 a day pushes you more into execution than 500,000 gross commission income at the end of the year. It's how we trick ourselves into executing, right? Now, the last discipline is accountability. This is the hardest one, right? This is the hardest one. This is the hardest discipline, I believe. But it's also the easiest if you employ help. Help! Help! You got to employ help. But you got to create a cadence of accountability. Who is keeping you accountable? This is part of our business plan. Do not let me forget this, guys, when we talk about this. Who is keeping you accountable? This has to be, make a note that when you talk about the marketing, the prospecting, the income goals, add a category for accountability. Who is keeping you accountable? Who is checking to make sure that you got it done? You gotta have someone that's accountable. Guys, these weekly calls, guess who I'm accountable to? You. I had a training last week, and my team is my witness. I had a training last week. You guys didn't even know this. I had a training last week that ran into this 30-minute period. And when we were planning the calls, I said, I can't just skip it, or I can. And some advice was to skip it, like skip it and do the next week. I said, no, because this year, Racole is on execution by any means necessary. This was on my calendar before that. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop off that training. I'm going to let them know I'm dropping off for 30 minutes so I can meet my responsibility. I'm accountable to them. I'm going to meet my responsibility, and I'm going to get back on. I'll come back on that training. 30 minutes won't kill me. Luckily, they had already scheduled to have a 15-minute break, so I've missed 15 minutes of training. There you go. Look how the universe works in line with you. I had already decided before we got the calendar that I was going to drop out for 30 minutes to get on and be accountable to you guys. And the universe said, you know what? You won't even miss that much, because 15 minutes of that is going to be a break. Who is checking to make sure that you got it done? You guys are checking to make sure I got it done every month, every week. You guys are checking because you come on and you're like, hello, we're looking for you. So part of your business plan has to be accountability. It can be a coach. It can be a friend. It can be a significant other. It could be a colleague, but who is checking to make sure you got it done? Find that person. Find that person. Create a cadence of accountability. If any of you already have a team, I suggest that you implement a daily huddle. That is a cadence of accountability. We do a daily huddle in my office where we go over all of the files that are closing in the upcoming 2 weeks. That is a cadence of accountability. They already know every morning we're asking about intake, title clearing, scheduling closings, etc. That is a cadence of accountability. It was the best thing we ever did. So again, if you're right now a solo agent, create a cadence of accountability. It could be your broker. Your broker would love to do this, right? If it's going to increase your productivity, your broker would love to be your accountability partner, right? It could be again, like I said, a colleague. And then if you have team members, if you have, for example, a VA that dials for you, create a cadence of accountability. You got to hear from them every day about the number of dials that they made, what was their feedback, what was their objection handler, etc. Right? This is where execution really happens. This is where, as they say, the rubber meets the road, accountability. The prior disciplines, they set up the game, but accountability ensures that execution actually happens. This is the sister of consistency, right? Being consistent. Being consistent. Being consistent. Oftentimes it's human nature. It's a challenge for us to be consistent by ourselves. And so accountability, someone else, some third party coming in to make us consistent is needed. This is why we have coaches, trainers at the gym. Who doesn't know what to do at the gym? Everybody knows what to do at the gym. Everybody knows what to do at the gym. But we know that it's likely that we're not going to perform unless we know someone's there waiting for us. Yep. Number one. Number two, we know we spent money on it. Yep. Right. So that alone creates consistency for us, that accountability. Right. So this was our first quote, I believe, that wraps up these 4 disciplines of execution. Without strategy, execution is aimless. Without execution, strategy is useless. So we're going to develop our business strategy over the coming months, because you can't just be executing all over the place. This just makes no sense. Like, what are you executing on? You don't even have a plan. But as we develop this strategy, it'll be useless for us to meet every week if you don't actually execute. So we're going to make a commitment to execute. Create your own affirmation that you will, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is not just a morning thing, a night thing. When it gets tough, this is something that you're repeating all day to yourself to get yourself into execution, right? Without strategy, execution is aimless. Without execution, strategy is useless.